What up, Long Beach? Welcome back to GazetteSports.com. It's JJ.
And Tyler, and this Moore League baseball preview is brought to you by the fine folks at Naples Rib Company.
Before the first pitch of the 2013 Moore League baseball season this afternoon at Blair Field, let's whip it around the horn and check in with the 4 perennial playoff teams.
Baseball back like it never left. Let's take you back to the final pitch of Moore League baseball at Blair Field. Poly against Wilson. This in extra innings. Jackrabbits down 1. Xavier Lavelle slapping that one down the line. Turley scores. Here comes Peter Fierros with the game-winning run. It's a walk-off. The Jackrabbits win their first sole Moore League title since 1968.
It was the perfect way to end an incredible season as we take another look at it here. The great pitching, obviously the timely hitting. Every night at Blair Field felt like it was just drama piled on top of drama. It didn't end up working out for these teams in the playoffs, as we all know. But when it's Moore League baseball at Blair Field, something crazy is usually going to happen, and we got some great scenes last season.
A lot of pitching, not a ton of hitting, but timely hits and some memorable ones as the Jackrabbits looking to repeat. But returning Moore League Player of the Year, Chris Castellanos, knows that it is a whole new year.
Yeah, 2013 is definitely a new year. We got a new outfield. Primarily, we got the same group of infielders, but we feel like we can get it done with those guys and integrate those guys into our program, and we think we have enough to get it done.
Everybody's got new players to plug in, but it's kind of nice to have CeCe there taking the ball for you every day.
The ace is back on the bump, and you know how his performances were this season, but he got help from his friends, and his infield will be back. Peter Fierros over at third. Frankie Rios is at shortstop. Julian Griego right here fielding this grounder at second. Throwing it over to Brock Meckelborg over at first. These the last 3 outs of CeCe's perfect game against Wilson. No, you didn't forget about that one.
No, you did not. Obviously, that just one piece of the whole picture that ended up with Poly holding up the trophy at the end of the Moore League season. But it was so close to being Wilson's last year because one thing goes a different way, and Andy Hall and his Bruins would have been the number 1 seed going into the playoffs. Instead, they're the number 3. They're back this year with high expectations, but they have to replace a guy you might know.
Ace DeYoung, obviously he is doing his thing in the Toronto Blue Jays organization. Tough to see him gone, and the Bruins a lot of arms to look to replace him.
I mean, you've got Simonson, Goldberg, Gomez, Radcliffe. I could go on and on with all these arms. The guy behind the dish on the other side of the battery is Chris Betts.
A Tennessee commitment, go Big Orange.
And at shortstop, you've got the returning captain, Timmy Richards.
A Fullerton commitment, we'll forgive him.
Long Beach, very pitching heavy last year.
No doubt.
So you got to get the bats right, and Wilson has looked much better at the plate this year than they did last year. Speaking of last year, it was the first time in a long time we've seen Lakewood not at the top of the league ladder.
They were certainly right in the mix. Big Wilson fans on the last day of the season, actually. They've got J.P. Crawford back, one of the biggest talents in the league, a commitment to USC, but he's feeling drafty going into his senior season, no doubt.
Yeah, he's the type of guy you need at shortstop. He's the type of guy that Lakewood likes, and he's not going to make those big mistakes in the big moments. He is seasoned, to say the least.
He feels like a 7th-year senior. We've seen a lot of J.P. Crawford, a lot of hits, a lot of bunts, and showing off that speed. I mean, he's fast.
Oh, yeah, he beats the ball to the bag more often than not. You've also got Nick Reeser, who had this double last year right in front of the GazetteSports.com sign. I mean, we appreciate that. Johnny Pasillas back in the lineup after taking last year off. Those are some big bats. They want JP on base so that hits like this, sac flies, and the like can get those runs so that the Lancers can continue to scratch out wins like they did last year. They need to get back on that ladder.
Indeed they do, and they might have the pieces to do it. Millikan Rams also in the playoffs under head coach Scott Glasser, who just teaches tough, hard-nosed, smart baseball. And no surprise that we're going to see just a lot of fundamentals gone over in this highlight here.
They grind it out. They grind it out, and they were so close to an upset last year, didn't get it, got a few the year before that. And it's not a mistake that they work a lot in practice on the base paths, and they finish practice with an execution drill. Slapping bunts, slashing bunts, getting them on, getting them over, getting them in. That's the way that Millikan has come up with some of those memorable upsets of Lakewood, Wilson, and Poly. And they're playing for their teammate, Brian Pieto, who tragically passed away last year. But this is Long Beach, and everybody knew BB3, so the whole league this season going to be dedicated to him.
Most definitely, JJ, and it should definitely be a fun one. This preview video brought to you in part by McCarty's Jewelry, here for you since 1932. Can't wait to get back out to Blair Field and back out onto the diamond and see these teams go at it. Should be a lot of fun once again.
Tuesday doubleheader kicks it off, and we pick right back up where we left off. It's Wilson, it's Polly in the nightcap, and for the rest of the Moore League baseball season, you stay right here, because this is GazetteSports.com, and we are Long Beach Sports.